Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I would like to welcome you to Unscripted. Already in the chat, Faithful Blue Wrench, the Bird Woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary, friend of the channel, Jessica Hardo, Rosefire, stay close to the fire. It's cold out there. Ladies and gentlemen, my designated stalker, Lady the Elements. Host of Films with Friends and the creator of the 10-word review, Big Out Presents. Coming to us from the future, Shashi. I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend. All right. I am going to be getting into kind of a touchy subject for some people, but we're going to try and keep it light. Host of Geeky Geezers, Aged Boomer. Geeky Geezers will be starting at 9 p.m., 52 minutes from now. D. Penzak. Good to see you, sir. Couldn't start the show without you. All right. I hope that everyone is staying warm. Winter is here, and we are going to be feeling it. Right now, where I live, it is currently 43 degrees, but we're going to have some nights here coming up where it's going to go down to 20. So, time for me to grow that other level of fur. All right. Winter needs a rain check. I agree. All right. Now, on last week's show, I went after those on the left coast, as they like to call it. But there's another group of people with whom Hollywood has seemed to fallen into lockstep with. So I'm going to go after the right coast. And you know who you are, folks. I want to introduce you to someone. This is a woman who is in my thumbnail, whom you might not be familiar with. And honestly, who I wasn't until this week. This is Dr. Sharita H. Golden. And she is the Chief Diversity, Inclusion, and Health Equity Officer of Johns Hopkins. And it seems that she penned an email of which this is part. And she has a few choice words for a certain group of people that I just happen to fit into in a few ways. And hello, CK. And Christian Delorme. All right. I'm just going to read what it says here. All right. From the Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Health Equity, January 12th, 2024. Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 2024 issue of the monthly Diversity Digest. We're excited to kick off this month with 2 events in celebration of Martin Luther King Jr. We look forward to the 42nd annual MLK commemoration on January 12th. This year, we'll be in a new location at Chevy Chase Auditorium on the East Baltimore campus, and the theme will be, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? Noted engineer and physician, Mae Jemison, will be the keynote speaker. Jemison will share her career path and her experience as the first woman of color to travel in space. Monday, January 15th is the 2024 MLK Day of Service, and participants can choose from a number of volunteer opportunities that are available January 15th through 31st. We look forward to working with you this year in the spirit of Dr. King and others to achieve our equity and inclusion goals. Okay, now that page, excepting throwing in the diversity and inclusion words, fairly innocuous. All right, this is coming off like they're going to have a career fair, and they're going to have a very well-known person in Mae Jemison speak at this event. Okay, now, like I said, fairly innocuous. However, the second page is where I have the issue. Diversity word of the month, privilege. Privilege is a set of unearned benefits given to people who are in a specific social group. Privilege operates on personal, interpersonal, cultural, and institutional levels, and it provides advantages and favors to members of dominant groups at the expense of members of other groups. In the United States, privilege is granted to people who have membership in one or more of these social identity groups. White people, able-bodied people, heterosexuals. This is a word I don't like, but it's in the memo. So this is what the woman wrote, and I'm going to say it. Cisgender people, males, Christians, middle or owning class people, middle-aged people, and English-speaking people. Privilege is characteristically invisible to people who have it. People in dominant groups often believe they have earned the privileges they enjoy, or that everyone could have access to these privileges if only they worked to earn them. In fact, privileges are unearned and are granted to people in the dominant groups, whether they want those privileges or not, and regardless of their stated intent. Sashi says, so I'm privileged according to her. This is privilege. Doesn't seem so awesome to me. Yeah, I know, right? I got to tell you, folks, I am not made of money. The money I have, I got to go out and earn on my own. It's not given to me. Now, everything that is listed here is the quote unquote privileged. I fit into all of those categories. And I got to tell you, nobody pulled the proverbial golden spoon out of my mouth. I don't come from this wealth that I keep being told that I have. Now, Dr. Golden and Johns Hopkins have printed a retraction to this, which I'm going to scroll up and look for. And I would suggest to you, and of course, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is entirely your choice, would be to follow the End Wokeness, follow End Wokeness on Twitter or X or whatever you choose to call it. All right. Boomer says Bill O'Reilly went on a rant recently. He says he can't deal with progressives anymore. Yeah, I don't blame him. All right. Now, on second thought, let's not go to Hopkins. This is a silly place. All right. Now, this is the rebuttal, so to speak. This comes to us from Theodore L. DeWeese, MD, Dean of the Medical Faculty, CEO, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and Kevin W. Sowers, MSN, RN, FAAN, BSMFB. I'm a USC. President, Johns Hopkins Health System, Executive Vice President, Johns Hopkins Medicine. Every month, the Johns Hopkins Medicine Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Health Equity distributes a newsletter from JHM's Chief Diversity Officer, Dr. Sarita Golden. The role of the office and the intended purpose of the newsletter is to support the Johns Hopkins community to build a culture of inclusivity and to foster conversation. Regrettably, the January edition of this newsletter, which was distributed to all Johns Hopkins Medicine employees yesterday, included a definition of privilege that runs counter to the values of our institution and our mission and commitment to serve everyone equally. Dr. Golden heard the feedback from our community, sincerely apologized, and retracted the definition. We fully support and appreciate her decision to do so, and as leaders of Johns Hopkins Medicine, we too repudiate this language. For us as a community, we hope this can be an opportunity for reflection on how we build bridges and connection, even around challenging topics. So, we did get an apology. But, yes, did they accidentally a mistake? Apparently they did. And thank you, Christian DeLorme, for stopping by. Get some rest. Thank you for supporting the channel. All right, now, anyone who has been paying attention at all to channels like Midnight's Edge or WDW Pro, Valiant Renegade, among others, have extensively covered this DEI nonsense. But they tend to cover it from the point of view of entertainment, Hollywood. Understand, though, this is also coming from Washington, D.C. Those that are supposed to be our leaders. This is coming from academia. And now, as we see with this situation, it is coming from medicine. It is coming from the medical field. And these are the things that worry me, because we saw this during the outbreak of the virus of unknown origins. Hospitals refusing to treat people who chose not to get the jab. Now they're throwing the privilege thing at us. Now, granted, at this point, we have heard this so many times that we've gotten used to it. And hello, Sense Corner. And I think that's part of the problem, is we should not get used to this. Rosefire says, I work in a college. I can confirm as a witness the woke virus has infected high and low. Higher education is now a paradox. It's dumbing people down, censoring words, and isolating people by checkboxes. Exactly. Rosefire has gotten my point exactly. Now, we've named some people because these are emails that have been made public or that have been made public to the press. Now, I don't want anybody who is listening to this broadcast to go after these people online directly. I don't want that. I am merely pointing out the divisive and, in my opinion, downright racist language in this document, the document written by Dr. Golden. Now, I am not, this broadcast is not about going out and harassing this woman online. I don't want that. Her own words implicate her in this quite frankly racist DEI nonsense. This need to divide us and they used the virus of unknown origins and the lockdowns to spread this cancer. These are people who are walking around calling people racist, calling people homophobe, accusing people who didn't get the jab of murder. They call us a word that begins in N and ends in IS. When the ones who are responsible for that kind of behavior, who are responsible for the censorship, they are the ones who are responsible for all of that, not you. I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. These people hold no moral authority over you. These are people who were not elected. These were the people who got away with the stuff that they've been getting away with because they claim that they are the quote unquote essential ones. I say they are not. Their own words and their own behavior exclude them. Sashi says, I saw a post on Reddit about some lecture in Canada about the absence of females protagonists, antagonists in Gundam. As a person who watches Gundam, what the hell? Yeah. You go on Reddit, you'll find some pretty crazy statements made by people who I hope don't believe what they're writing. Society has gone backwards. It's insane. It is. I don't recognize the world I live in anymore. And hello to Brett Cohen. Good to see you. As far as says, man sees with the eyes, but God sees into the heart. Samuel 1, chapter 1, verse, Samuel the 1st, chapter 16, verse 7. Yeah, that's true too. Thank you. Now, Get back on that stage. Okay. Now, obviously, I am not in academia. I do not run in those circles. I understand that if I ever went on the property of Johns Hopkins, um, or some Northeastern college somewhere, I would either be treated like the help or treated like I was trespassing and summarily arrested. Now, I'm used to that. What I have never gotten used to is being accused of being the one who is doing that to others. I have had grown up adult people call me racist just for being white and from the South ever since I was a toddler. In June, I'll be 51 years old. That's no small amount of years. A lot of my really good friends didn't survive that long. Nothing has ever changed. And I start to think about why hasn't anything changed? People on the street, people like you and me, we get along. There isn't this racial animus. There isn't this, the word they like to throw around these days, caste system. What is that? I live in a town where there's white, black, Hispanic, Asian, there are Russian people who live here. There are people from Cambodia. You know, it's quite a melting pot. And there is none of this racial animus. Not for the most part. There's going to be assholes. There just are. But they're very few. If a black person calls me a racist, I'm not going to get upset at every black person in the world for what that one person says. I'm not going to blame every Hispanic person if one insults me. And I know some insults in Spanish, so I know when they do it. But I'm not going to blame everyone for that. But we have people in positions of power, positions of leadership, who are trying to divide us. And this is one of the ways that they go about it. My message to you tonight is do not allow this kind of behavior to stand. When someone in a place of authority chooses to propagate this racial animus under the guise that they're out for equity and inclusion, you call them out on it. And Dr. Sharita Golden and the powers that be at Johns Hopkins, I am calling you out tonight. You tried to sneak this by us, and you got caught. So we're going to have our eye on you now. You and all of your little minions. So she says, if I would show up over there, they might mistake me for tech support. They might. It all starts at home. Origin of somebody's idiotic views. They'll say I'm the janitor. Yeah, they'll probably say the same about me. Did you see Bill Nye's comments about stuff like this? I thought he was spot on. I have not, but I'm going to look into it. See you guys later. Have to drive to work. Have a safe trip, Sashi. Have a good day. And catch you later. And hello to Tree Rock Creations. People insult me all the time. It doesn't bother me. However, when I insult myself, criticize myself, it bothers me. Yeah, because see, this is part of it. Okay. If you get insulted enough times by enough people, you begin to believe it. This is part of the psychological war that they pull on you. People say the same thing about you enough times, you begin to believe it. You see, because this is part of what I'm talking about. Now, say that I read off. Say that I read off this this email, as I just did, and say, because I am an English-speaking straight white person, hey, they're talking about, they're talking about me. They can turn that around and say, oh, no, we're not talking about you. You're just thinking that in your own mind, and you have to look into yourself because you are the bad person. This is what I'm talking about. This is the psychological war. We're not the problem. You are the evil one, and you need to look inside yourself. You need to look at yourself in the mirror. I say to that bullshit, They are the xenophobes, not you. And hello to the lovely Sherry. And emotionally unstable amphibian. Brett Cohen says, I've got a good bullshit meter. Humans are hypocritical by nature, though the thing that pisses me off the most is intellectual dishonesty, hypocrisy, anyone placing themselves above another's POS. Exactly. And unfortunately, we have people in places of authority, in places of leadership in this country, that should not be there for this very reason. Now, if I were broadcasting the Rumble, I would go a little deeper into this. But there was some funny business that went on during the last election. I mean, whether you agree with me, you don't agree with me, I think there was something fishy going on. And I think they're going to try it again. This is an election year, folks. We're going to be seeing a lot more of this. And we are going to get a lot of insults thrown our way. But I say that this is good because these people will show, as those at Johns Hopkins has, they are going to show their true colors. And I'm going to be here to call these people out. Now, I have another show. It's called The Other Side of Midnight. And on that show, I like to chill out with my friends and the friends of the channel. And I like talking to the chat. That's my opportunity also to hear what you have to say. I do my film reviews in order to let you know about the good entertainment that you can go out and see. Or, hey, maybe skip it altogether. Or maybe you guys can come on and disagree with me or agree with me every once in a while. That's good too. I like healthy debate. But when it comes to this program, to Unscripted, this is what I'm going to be talking about. I am going to show you the crooks that hide behind their family names, behind their lawyers, behind their money, behind the press. You know, and I'll tell you, Jesse, politics isn't something that I like to talk about either. But it's going to get really heated. There's going to be people on both sides of the aisle that will be talking out of both sides of their mouth. They're going to do it, and they're going to say that you are the problem. And when they do, I'm going to call them out by name. Because the people of this country, the people of Canada, the people of Germany, where the truckers are striking right now, there are people in India who watch my channel, in Malaysia. I am speaking to the average Joe. I am speaking to the people who go out and work for a living to provide for their families, who just want to be left alone to live their lives. You're the people that I am going to speak for. I'm not going to talk down to you because I am you. I get up, I slug down some coffee, I go to work, same as everybody else. And I think you deserve better. And that's going to be my mission statement. The people who lie to you, the people who steal from you, the people who make your life difficult, I will call them out. You do not deserve to be insulted. You do not deserve to have someone else's hand in your pocket, lifting your wallet and taking your hard-earned money out of it. I stand with you. All right, kids. Rant over. We are going on now to the What's on My Shelf segment of the show. And today I am going to talk about a couple of movies here that I'm going to be doing some shows on. Now, earlier today, I co-hosted Western Cinema Presents with Jedi Bill, and we watched The Magnificent Seven Ride. This is the fourth in the series. It's got some dark subject matter, but you know, it's still a Western. It's got its flaws, but it's a pretty decent film. And it's only an hour and 40 minutes, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. If you have a chance to see The Magnificent Seven Ride, if you have your own copy, I understand it's also on Tubi, free with ads. Check it out. Now, as part of Military Monday over on Pop Culture Minefield, tomorrow's show is going to be about the film Battle Los Angeles, which I also happen to have a copy of. Watched this earlier this evening. Again, a movie that has some issues, but it's a rare movie in that it's pro-military, which is why the critics didn't like it, I think. And it's basically an alien invasion as seen from the ground. So check it out. All right. Now, this is the part of the show where I take questions from the chat. Now's the time. I'll say hello to the chat once again while you type up your questions. D. Pensac says, fantastic show tonight, deleted scenes. Thank you very much, D. Thank you for being here. Aged Boomer says, The Warriors was recently added to myself. Yes, The Warriors, 4K of the theatrical edition. Check it out. Jesse says, personally, I'm not red nor blue. I'm not hard or right or left. I'm just stuck in the middle, hoping both sides can come together to fix some of our problems and keep this union strong. Brother, I'm with you. I am with you absolutely there. All right. And speaking of Aged Boomer, here in about 8 minutes, he will be hosting Geeky Geezers. So once this broadcast is over, go over and raid Geeky Geezers. Unscripted raid. Hashtag unscripted raid. We're going over to Aged Boomer's channel for Geeky Geezers. And thank you, Connie. All right, I want to remind everyone this evening at 12:05 a.m. Eastern, 11:05 Central, The Other Side of Midnight, episode 35. My guests tonight will be Pacific 414, Baron Norman Tog, and Cash Money 007. And I'm going to be asking them about how they came together to create a Pop Talk, which is every Wednesday and Sunday. I was on last Wednesday's show. I simulcasted that show to my channel. Please check that episode out. All right. I also want to remind everyone, Tuesday night will be the next episode of Live from Sparkwood and 21. It is a retrospective of the Twin Peaks television series. Aged Boomer will be joining me along with Troy Pacelli and Netter's Network, and we're going to be discussing episode 3 of season 2 entitled The Man Behind the Glass. All right. Thursday, I am going to be joining Jedi Bill for Action Theater, and today's movie from 1994, True Lies, directed by James Cameron, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Tom Arnold. Now, next Sunday, I am going to be joining Boomer and Troy on Geeky Geezers, and we are going to be doing I'm going to be involved in a segment about the Oscar nominations, which are coming out on Tuesday. Now, I understand people are not too big on the Oscars, but since this is in part an entertainment channel, I feel the need to cover it. So I'm going to be doing a segment on Geeky Geezers, and I'm probably going to do a video or two about it this week. So stay tuned. The Oscars, Yeah, for the most part, I don't blame you there, D. All right, now, as you all know, I recently hit the 300 subscriber milestone. In fact, I picked up a couple today. I'm up to 314 subscribers. So I will be doing a 300 subscriber celebration. Stay tuned to my community page for a day and time. And I once again want to thank all of you for sticking with me and for supporting my channel and for watching my content. And I've got a lot more coming to you this year. I am not going anywhere. So stay tuned. Jesse says Godzilla -1 should be getting an Oscar. It should get something. Yeah. It definitely is deserving of some nominations. I will be doing a 10 best and worst movies of the year program coming here pretty shortly. So stay tuned. We are now deleted scene Spartans. Yeah, hey guys, in my community page, on my community page, or in the comment section for this video, I would like you guys to come up with a name for yourselves. All right, if you want to call yourselves the Spartans, if you want to call yourselves the Sceners, if you want to call yourselves Clippers, I want to come up with a nickname for you guys. So pick one out, and whichever one gets the most votes, that's the name we're going to go with. Since Chris Gore has been posting pictures of the director of Godzilla -1, they sat together at the Critics' Choice Awards. Lucky, yes, the Critics' Choice Awards is on tonight. And apparently Chris Gore is there, and he has met the director of Godzilla -1. So, very cool. Very cool. I got to tell you guys, I would really like to get Chris Gore on my midnight show. He's going to be the holy grail until I can get him on. I definitely like his insights. I like where he and Alan are going with these D-file reports. Stay tuned for that, because I'm going to be doing some shows about that. Thank you, Brett Cohen. Wolverines! Yes. Chris is great. It was wonderful to be able to meet him at Dragon Con last September. Yeah, I want to go to one of the big cons sometime in the future. Unfortunately, the last convention I was able to go to was in Charleston in 2019, pre-COOF. And that was the last chance I was able to go to a con. Since he was kind enough to write a letter of recommendation for me for a critics group I'm applying to. Cool. All right. Well, all right, folks. Geeky Geezers is going to be starting here in just a moment. I want to go ahead and sign off. Go over Unscripted Raid, Geeky Geezers, Aged Boomers channel. I want to thank Boomer for being here. I want to thank everybody in the chat, Emotionally Unstable Amphibian, Brett Cohen, Connie Cleary, Lady V Elements, Sin's Corner, D. Penzak, Jesse Guajardo, Shashi, the lovely Sherry, Jesse Guajardo, Tree Rock Creations. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Rosefire, Christian DeLorme, CK, Read by Nature, All right, Big Al presents. Ladies and gentlemen, your life is yours. Live it in whatever way you see fit. There are haters out there, but they hold no moral authority over you. Live your life. And I'm always going to have your back. From HQ, good night. Take care. Stay strong, because this is how we win.